Norwood Show. We're back with the Danielle Norwood Show on 580 WIBW and FM News 1049. And we're hanging out both on the air and online with some special guests through our live stream portal, bringing you the second half of the show through Facebook at WIBW News, as well as YouTube. And, we don't do these too often, so we're a little rusty. So have some grace and patience with us as we navigate this half hour. But studio engineer Britt is right here. How you doing, Britty?
Hey, I'm doing better because I feel more confident about our connection. We had a little bit of problems earlier in the show, but I'm feeling good, feeling strong about this. We got a packed house, and it's going to be good.
Me too. And I'm excited because this would have been the weekend for National Night Out. And I got to tell you, it's probably one of my favorite events of the year because we go and we get to party in different locations. I'll just put it like that. And I know that there's a bigger part to all of it for the community, but just the idea that we get to go to different places that I've never been to around the area and hang out and make new friends and just really connect with folks. So we're going to be talking about that today. And we have some esteemed guests to introduce to you. We have Judy Wilson with Safe Streets, who's the National Night Out Program Coordinator for the area. We have Topeka Fire Chief Craig Duke, who's been with the Topeka Fire Department for 3.5 years. And before that, he was a Senior Deputy Chief with the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department. And lastly, we have Kansas Highway Patrol Trooper Don Hughes, who's been with the Highway Patrol for 25 years, and prior to that, 9 years with the Capitol Police. So thank you all for joining us. Appreciate your time being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Judy, I want to start with you. Tell us about National Night Out and how it all began.
Well, we've had National Night Out here for many years, probably about like 1995, 97. However, it started with like 20 neighborhoods. And I'm pleased to tell you that last year we had 80 neighborhoods and 12,000 people participate throughout.
Wow.
Yes. And we are 5th in the nation in population 100,000 to 300,000. So,
that's amazing.
Right. And the neighborhoods, are so excited each year to have it. And, we're sorry this year that we couldn't because of COVID. But by the time you have some neighborhoods that like have 1,000 people, they just couldn't social distancing at all. So we just had to make the call that we're planning for next year. And we already have about 40 neighborhoods already registered. So we're a go.
It'll probably be even bigger and better than it would have been this year because people will have missed it. And for people who have not gone, and I'll have you, Trooper Hughes, and Chief Duke talk about your experiences as well. When you've gone to the different National Night Out neighborhood events, what have you seen? Because I think the coolest one that I saw was an actual camp out. They had tents put out in one of the parks in their area, and folks were eating, and they had a big old inflatable screen, and they were watching movies, and it was just literally like a camp scene in the neighborhood. And people who probably didn't even know each other from around the area just hanging out for the night out. So tell me your experiences, and feel free to just jump in, whoever wants to start.
Go ahead.
Not everyone at once.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Trooper Hughes. Okay, well, my experiences with it has been really positive for me and the fire department. So we've been able to get out in the neighborhoods, and the apparatus that are in the neighborhoods, they get to meet the neighbors and work with them and show them what we supply with the different services that we have. We're able to give them public fire safety information. In fact, this week is Fire Prevention Week, and it would have been a great time to be out there giving them the information on fire prevention, with especially it being this year's being cooking accidents, cooking fires. And with everybody more at home with the COVID, there's a lot more cooking going on at home. So, but it really helps us get in with the neighborhoods, meet the neighbors in the community where the fire apparatus are stationed. And it's very positive We try to use community risk reduction themes with this. We tell them about the smoke detector programs, the Stop the Bleed programs, the hands-only CPR. They're all very interested in them, and then sometimes the neighbors invite us back to come to some other meeting and talk more about our programs.
I think that that's awesome because unfortunately, the only time really any of us meet people with the fire department firemen is because something's wrong. So it's nice to actually have you be a part of a community and say, hey, there's some things that you could do to make sure that you don't see us in a bad way, but we can interact and just get to know each other. And if they have any questions, be able to talk to you about it. So I think that that's wonderful. Trooper Hughes, talk to me. How is the Kansas Highway Patrol involved with National Night Out?
Hey, that's a good question. And we try to take advantage of all the opportunities that Judy has provided us by being the coordinator, sets us with all the different communities that are participating. And it is neat to see what creativity the communities came up with. You're right. I was in Oakland where they had a big screen set up for like a drive-in theater. In Barrington where they had car shows and different other community groups that came in to learn about different things that are going on in their community, to different pool parties was a big one. It seemed like a lot of communities have the opportunity to have a pool in their neighborhood that they all have access to use. So it was neat to go and visit all those communities and let them know that we are a resource for them for any safety program that they may have, whether it's they have questions on how to put in a car seat, whether it's older drivers. Maybe they're taking care of their mom or dad or grandparents or an aunt and uncle, and we do safety programs for seniors and let them know about there is no time to stop driving. It's all about based on your mental and physical abilities. And so some people are worried about that. And so we can relieve some of that tension. We can talk about teen driving and give them tips on how to get a hold of brakes to do a proactive teen driving school and enroll their teen in that. So it gives me that opportunity. Judy has gave us that connection with these communities.
Well, these are things that I didn't even know that the Highway Patrol had in place. I think that that's wonderful. And we might have some older listeners tuned in. Can you give us some ideas in terms of senior driving before we go to the break? Because I think that might be of interest to a lot of our listeners.
Senior drivers. Probably one of the most hands-on thing that I get a request for after I do a safety talk is an event called Car Fit. And what we do is we have a place that will host the event, and seniors just drive up. We talk to them. They fill out a little information to give me some ideas to talk about on their car, and I try to fit them in their car, give them some tips on how to use some of this new technology that's in vehicles that they don't maybe understand or know how to use. I check their vehicle for them, make sure all the lights are working properly, horns, wipers, all that stuff. We check all that for them. And then the last step of this Car Fit program is where they meet with an OT to say, hey, I do have trouble getting out of my car, or maybe just turning the key to start their car, or the gas cap, things like that. Little things that maybe we take for granted because we do it every day. But as we grow older, those things we maybe need a little help with. They can still drive safe, but we can keep them more comfortable in their car to drive safer longer. How's that?
When is your next event going to be?
Well, for Car Fit,
yes,
we're working on a schedule to set something up. Due to COVID, we kind of shut everything down, but we do have a lot of people asking, when are we going to put that back up? And so that's, I can send you that information once we get those established.
I would love that. And then we'll have you back on to talk about that, because these are all things that we need to know. Heck, I drive every day and there's some things on my car. I have no idea what they do or how they do. So
I was going to say the same thing.
Checking it out.
I could use that class a little bit.
Well, but I wouldn't be able to get these programs, this Car Fit, brakes, safe, which is seatbelts are for everyone, my work zone stuff, without the help of Judy, being the coordinator and making this thing grow that she's done. National Night Out started out very small, and where it went to was because of Judy and all the other resources and the sponsors such as yourself that have helped put this together. That kickoff event is really neat to do when we do it in your parking lot.
We've had a fun time doing it there. Also, shout out to Hy-Vee because they've been a wonderful partner for several years. And Judy, definitely got to shout you out because this is not just a 1 day or 2 day event for you. This is all year long. You're putting pieces together and working with the neighborhood. So we can't applaud you enough for everything that you're doing. So what we're going to do right now is take a quick break. When we come back, I would like to get some takeaways, like maybe have a little like national night out here on the air and online to get some ideas of how we can keep our neighborhoods safe. That's coming up on the Danielle Norwood Show on 580 WIBW.
Straight up class and a whole lot of sass. You're
Hey, we're back. It's the Danielle Norwood Show. Danielle is going to take it away, aren't you? Oh, what a day we've been having on the show today. Technology is just such a treat for us. Danielle, are you with us?
We're back with the Danielle Norwood Show on IW and FM News 1049. We're talking with Topeka Fire
Well, folks, while we wait for Danielle to kind of reconnect and all that good stuff, what other details do you want to give us about National Night Out? Why is this important for our communities? We have some community pillars here going on.
Since we can't get together and enjoy each other's company this year, I would love for us to get one or two takeaways from each of you about things that we could do to keep our community connected and keep it safe. So I'm going to start out with you, Trooper Hughes. What are some things that we could do to keep our community safe from your perspective?
See something, say something. If you see something going on and it looks wrong or just makes you feel like there could be something wrong here, call 911, call star 47, and let us as law enforcement come and check out and see what it is. If there's nothing wrong, no harm, no foul. But see something, say something has always worked in the Topeka community.
Absolutely. Chief Duke, what do you say?
Well, one of the most important things, since we are a community, is keeping an eye on the other community members in your area, especially the elderly. You know, if you haven't had contact with the elderly in a while or haven't seen them out and about, you know, just check on them, knock on their door, give them a call, just let them know you're concerned or worried about them, and hopefully nothing ever happens. But it's always good to watch over each other.
Absolutely. And Judy, I'm going to let you close us out because, you know, you've done this for many years and obviously you're at the heart of what we know as the National Night Out here in our community. Talk about some tips that you can give to our listeners about what they need to do to keep their neighborhood safe.
Well, I think we start out with Neighborhood Watch because a lot of those who have National Night Out have a Neighborhood Watch. And of course, the purpose is to get to know your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, is there a car in the neighbor's yard or in the neighbor's driveway that should not be there? Do you have a car going slowly in the neighborhood? You need to be able to reach out to the neighbors and let them know. So what we do at Safe Streets, we do email phone tree for each neighborhood. Right now we have 140 neighborhood watches, and we had 2 new ones add this past week. So now we're up 142.
Wow.
We also, of course, when the COVID lifts, we go back out to the neighborhoods and meet with them. We have the Topeka Police Department, that officer that comes as he can and talks about issues too if we can't handle it for them. Now, we do get a lot of calls in the office where we don't have to have a neighborhood watch, but we talk about the issues and try to help them solve problems. One thing right now is people being home. They are worried about, is there a drug house in the neighborhood? And one way to kind of watch out for this is, do you have a car that's coming and going, like staying 5 minutes and leaving? Do they not put their trash out till the next morning? Anything like that. And of course, we go through that with the neighborhoods, and we also have them keep a log of all this and turn it into the police department at the end of each week. So those are just a few of the things, but we do have resources out on the Safe Streets website too that you can print off. But just give us a call and we'll be glad to help you.
Well, Judy, Trooper Hughes, Chief Duke, I want to thank all of you for making time for us today. This has been really helpful, and I can't wait to see you all next year for National Night Out. It's going to be at the top of my to-dos to hang out with you all and appreciate just everything that you do for the community. Thank you for your service, and we'll be talking to you again soon. And that's going to wrap up today's show. Coming up on Monday, Bob Ross from the GPP has some exciting news about some upcoming events. And we're going to check in with our friends from Grace Med. That's coming up on Monday on the Danielle Norwood Show on WIBW Topeka. CBS News is next at 2. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend.
Thank you.